Welcome to Detailing Talk Europe. Today we are going down the source in this nice country, Croatia, and have a special guest there. Welcome, Iva Belić. Company name and everything else you will pronounce by yourself, and I don't do it wrong. And of course, I'm Lars, and again with me, Patrick from the Rack Company. Also nice to see you, and always the same. I say the first hello, the second hello comes from Patrick. So Patrick, go for it.
Thank you, Lars, for the introduction again, and hello to Iva. Thank you for being on the show, wanting to participate on this podcast, the podcast where we try to connect people from the detailing industry, share their experience, and we are very curious what you have to tell us from Croatia, Zagreb.
Hello, first of all, to Lars and Patrick. Nice to meet you finally, even in this virtual world. It's nice to be here. So I come from Zagreb, Croatia, where is the main workshop and everything for our company, for LCD. We've been in detailing business for 7 years now in total, 3 years with the working retail store, but mostly we were web-based on web shop sales. We are currently distributors for more than 20 different brands from detailing industry, ranging from German products to English, Polish, and also American, of course. We are trying to give a certain diversity on the market by reaching out to different distributors, suppliers, and working with them. But most of all, we are currently trying to educate people on Croatian market on a different level of car care, since this has been one of the fastest growing markets for this southeastern part of Europe. But I think in the world general is the same thing happening.
Yeah.
We are just trying to put out as much as we know and as much as we can to common people who can see that you can use the cheapest or the most expensive products, but if you know how to use them, you will always get the right result. So it's not about the money, it's about some experience and knowledge and sharing of it.
Yeah, that's so true.
I mean, she's not talking about leather repair products. That just for body work.
Quite expensive, right?
No, we are both.
Of course.
A good balanced price and the best result products.
It's a price quality. You're settled. You're fine.
Yeah, he's optimized.
Yeah. No, that is absolutely. Education is one of the main things. That's no question. That's the reason why we do training. Why Patrick do training all the time. That is why you're doing training. But come back a little bit to your person. How you come to detailing? Is it something what you did for a long time, or what did you before? And how was the entrance to come to this kind of business? So
actually, at first it was a hobby. I'm an optician actually. I worked in the optical industry for 10 years and reached some kind of top level and was just bored with it, since I like to always learn new things, try out new stuff. And since the small ages, I was fascinated with cars and bikes. So it became quite natural for a woman to like to take care of her car. And by one friend who turned me to England and to a lot of web shops in England, dealing with detailing stuff, we started importing it to Croatia. And I found a big fascination here. I started learning from a lot of big names, old names in the detailing industry that have been working this job for 15, 20 years. And at some time, even the leather came in as something very, very interesting for me, since there aren't a lot of people left who know and can deal with leather the right way, especially in such a small market as ours.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a natural, ongoing obsession that became quite big during a lot of years. And I quit my job, started this company, and it all became a new life for me, detailer's life.
Yeah, now you can do what you want to do, no?
Sorry,
Patrick. Now you can do what you want to do, no? So
yeah.
Lucky situation.
my question to Iva was: did you start the company by yourself?
No, I have a partner in crime. We started the company together 7 years ago, and he's been the most supportive person I ever met, since he has a lot of understanding of the technical side of the industry. Mm-hmm. So he's currently and always actually evolving in that direction. He's the one who's taking care of the polishing processes, the machines that we have in offer, testing out, trials, products, everything. And I'm the person that is connected with the customers and the sales. So no, I'm not alone in this. And that's a very big positive side of the company, since you have two people who are closely involved in something as a detail world. And it's been my, let's say, backbone just to start the company. So he's the part, I'm the fluid one.
Well, that's a huge compliment to him, of course. But it seems like you combine forces. You know, you both have your strength within the company, and that's why it's successful. So it makes total sense.
It's a good balance, let's say.
That's good.
So it's quite easier to handle a lot of new stuff and changes in the industry if you have someone who understands what you are going through. You can always talk to him and he understands it, and he can always give a second-hand or opinion about something. So same as talking to you today now, exchanging experiences, that's something that happens in our company on a daily basis. So I'm quite pleased with it.
That is awesome.
You won't get a raise, Daurin. Just saying.
Okay, so he's on the payroll, we know now.
Of course, we all are. We live from this. Yeah. Money is also a part of everything.
No, but referring to what Lars said, is that it is awesome that you are able to do something that you love to do, right?
Yeah. Because it's quite easier to work if you like what you are doing. You can handle a lot of more things, you want to learn more things, and most of all, you can inspire more to some new changes, and the results can be quite amazing. You can be proud of doing something different.
Yeah, absolutely, of course.
So it's a nice feeling.
So you have two parts in your company. You have the technical part where you do customer jobs. You get a car, you polish, you clean, or whatever the customer want. I guess you do coating as well, and you do interior jobs also, because I know you have our products also. And then the second part is import products to your country and offer it to customers, and you sell products to end customers, end users, I guess, and to professionals. How does it work? You have a website, all of this, and a stock end, or can you tell us a little bit how this business works? And is your website the main website in your country or in your area for detailers, or do you have a competition who is also on the market? How is this kind of situation? How is it to get products? That is finally what I want to know. So when
long story short,
you can call Lars. No, just joking. We have an online store, the only online store, and it's on forea-ocd.hr. We are mostly based on the webshop sales, but our retail store is growing through every month. So people like to stay in contact with you. They like to learn from you face to face a lot. Croatia is still an underdeveloped market considering detailing world, but we have 4 companies currently operating on this area, but only the 2 of us have retail stores. The rest of the 2 of them are only web shop based. The 3rd one is coming with the retail store in some time now, I'm sure. We are still playing a quite gentleman's game in this country, since we are not very combined with the brands. So every of the 4 company has its own brands. We have some overlappings, but not big ones. So we are trying just to keep the customers satisfied, and every one of us, every company has a certain circle around it. So if you want to learn or get products, let's say color lock, you will come to us because we only have it in Croatia. If you like to, let's say, test Angel Wax, you will go to the competition. If you like to test Maguire's, you will go to competition. We are not overlapping. It's a too small market for it. And I'm quite honestly to say pleased with it, because you leave the area for the competition to grow, but also for yourself to grow even more, because you can judge their work a lot easier and then combine what can you do more to get to the people. So it's quite a nice game that we are currently playing here. And the market is actually wonderful because people are reacting on very, very positive ways to detailing. So they want to learn, they want to invest, they're even taking some financial shots, let's say, from the country, where you can easily open and become a detailer with some of their input. So it's a nice time to start something new. And I think that's a big step up from Croatia in the detailing segment.
That's always good news.
You're asking me.
Yeah. So maybe for people who don't know how big Croatia is, how many people live in your country?
Currently, I think 3.7 or 3.8 million people.
Okay, so yeah.
Numbers have dropped a lot in the last 2 or 3 years because a lot of young people are going to work out. And we've been trying to change that tide. I'm not prone to going out. I think that Croatia has a lot of things to offer, but we are having some government issues. The things moving a lot easier, but still you can work a lot. And if you're good at what you're doing, I'm 200% certain you can make it any place.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, when you do something with passion and you love what you do, it's not interesting where you do this and what you are doing. The main thing is you have to love to do what you do. So that is.
But you have to believe in yourself.
Yeah, that is for sure. And how big is Zagreb? How many people live in the capital city?
We have a covering area. Let's say that a bit less than 1/3 of people are living here in Zagreb and the area around it. So it's quite a big city, and everybody turns to it. But also the other areas of Croatia are quite strong in car industry. So Istria has a lot of nice cars, a lot of nice people taking care of them. Slavonia is a bit weaker in that sense, but there are still some people doing an amazing job there. Dalmatia also. And on the north, things have been going quite spectacular. The north is waking up, so Zagorje is doing a great job. And Međimurje.
And are you focused on your own country? So you focus on Croatia, or do you go over the border also? And I mean, you have a lot of neighbor countries, no? So what is about this, and how does it work? Is there some shipping issues, or is it? It's not everything European Union, no? So.
No, it's not. Only actually neighbor is Slovenia and across the Mediterranean, of course, Italy. But currently we are only working close to Bosnia. We have a gentleman who is working there, nice job on presenting the detailing products to the market for a couple of years now. And we've been in close contact with him for quite some time. He has access to all of our products and brands, of course, and everyone can reach him. Since he's out of the European Union, same as Serbia, it's quite a big issue to transport the goods because the cost is quite high.
Yeah.
And that's still a big problem. Also, sometimes even when we are trying to import some stuff to Croatia, it will cost a lot more than, let's say, to Slovenia, and we are not that far away. So I think that the mentality for this area of Europe has changed in some things, but some hasn't. It will still take some time for people to get used to. But in general, we are not prone going to other countries since a lot of them have their own distributors and people taking care of their markets. We've been, you know, that Lars, of course, working closely with Grega in Slovenia, and he's been my tutor for leather care and repair. And Slovenia in general is our closest partner. We have a lot of good connections there, so we are working with them. Not in the sense of the sales, but more of the import-export status, since they are a part of the union. And we've been trying just to connect with them as much as we can, because we are two small countries and it's quite easier to handle the stock, the fluctuations in the stock during the Corona times with them than for every country to work separately. So that's our way.
Good thinking, you know.
Yeah.
I think we both love to hear that you guys get along, you know. So, and that was, I have a question about your competitors in your own country. Do you know your competitors and are you in contact with them?
We are actually. One of our competitors was our buyer a couple of years ago. So he started a company and we're pleased with it. And everybody is just expanding in their own way. So it's interesting movement on a small market. Everything you do, every step echoes for some time. So it's nice to watch everybody going on their different ways of marketing, learning, education of people. It's always something moving.
Yeah.
But in general, we know each other since the first company that started with the detailing industry actually in Croatia was Autopartes, and we learned from them. We were going on their classes for a year before we started working afterwards. The second one was DLS Detail, and we can say he is more than a gentleman. He's a huge, great guy that we respect a lot, and he always handles stuff his own way that we like a lot. And the third one is actually PH Detailing. He was one of our customers, and he started also doing a great job here. So it's in general, when people talk about competition, they tend to turn to some negative input for the customers. I think that's quite wrong, since customer will choose whatever he likes. It doesn't matter what you will say, but you will bring out the bad image about yourself. So just respect, let everybody play their game, and that's it. As long as the prices are kept normal, no dumping zones, I think you can work really a great job in any direction you turn, especially with detailing that covers a lot of different interesting parts of the industry. So it's a nice place to be.
Yeah, because in the detailing industry, it's very difficult. Like you said, it's like a growing industry, so not many people know about the industry. So for you and being in contact with these people works out way better for you, like you were saying, than talk bad about each other. This way you help each other. You have your own clientele, but everybody is growing the same thing, which is the detailing market, more awareness, which you will all benefit from, you know? So that would be, that is, in my opinion, that's the best way to go, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always, you're safe and you're morally safe and sound. So I think that's the only way to work anything, any job. So
yeah,
so true.
So a little bit again to your country and your area. What is about the language? So you can speak with people from Slovenia, from Bosnia. You understand
Germany,
each other,
from the
or how's the situation? Just for people. I mean, Iva, you know that I know it, and I did a couple of trainings in your area. So what is always funny, but I I don't know if everybody who listened to us was before in this area and was in Croatia. So, I mean, 25, 30 years ago, it was more or less one country. Then was a bad time. Very, very lucky that you are now in this situation where we are now after 25 years. But how is it now? So do you speak the same language, or is it similar? How we can, or how does it work? So just that the people understand what kind of issues you have when you cross the border.
Well, actually, we aren't having any issues. So most of the people who are Croats, they speak their language and they can easily relate to Slovenia, to Serbia, to Bosnia, to Montenegro. We come from the Southern Slavs, so we understand each other. Hungary is not part of it, so we can't understand them.
No, Hungary is like Japanese.
Specific.
Yeah, it's like Japanese or something like that.
Yeah, it's totally different. Especially when you eat too much of their stuff, you can't understand anything. But,
it's not the eating, it's the drinking, I think.
We are a tourism-based country. We live out of the tourists during the summer, and a lot of people in Croatia know English, speak quite fluently, and understand it, especially also German. We have a lot of words that come from German language, so we can also relate to it. A lot of people from this area, from Southeastern Europe, lived or worked in Germany for some time, especially during the war. So we are quite, let's say, prone to fast learning of the languages in the most of the country. I'm not saying for specific people, but we understand that in order to serve your customer the best, you must know, and you must adapt. So I think in general, if you do come ever to Croatia and have a coffee here, you will always be greeted on at least 3 different languages. Italian is not that often in the inside of the country, but when you move more west to Istria, that's closer to Italy, of course, you will also see a lot of Italian towns, hear a lot of language, and that's normal to us. Yeah. We are, let's say, a bit proud of it.
That's something what you have to be proud of. This is always this what I'm impressed when I'm there and I do a training and people come from different countries in this area. It just took a few minutes and they agree which kind of language they want to talk, and then they just talk and do everything normal. So it's for a country, big countries like Germany or Italy, France, Spain, where the people are not so flexible about the language. It's always for me nice to see how you do this in this area. That's very, very, very awesome. Also Gregor speaks a lot of language. I mean, it's not always perfect, but nobody is shy to do this. You just talk, and then you find a way to communicate. And a lot of things is about body talking, also, no? So, but that's very impressive how the people do this in this area. So that is why I ask you, because I'm always very surprised how good this works. No? So
we like to mingle. Awesome. We are a very social nation, so we like to talk to people, meet new people. That's important to us, especially if we are going outside of the borders. You are always kind of in the back of your mind, you have a thought you are representing your country, so do your best just to get to know everyone and show the best part of you. I think that's
an awesome attitude. Yeah, that's something everybody should have that, So maybe if some of them had it for 10%, the world would look way better, So.
Maybe. I guess we'll learn one day.
Yeah. No, but I can agree on the fact that if you speak multiple languages, it is in your own favor as well. A lot of people, and Lars already named some of the countries which are so big and sometimes they get cocky that they don't need to speak another language because they think it's their language and everybody speaks it, So, for instance, if you go to the city where I live, we have a marketplace and we are like 5 minutes off the German border. So if we go to the marketplace, I will be addressed in German as well, even though I'm Dutch, So, but it's like about the money because the Germans, they bring the money and the majority of the people who visit the market are German. So they run on German people. So of course they speak German. It's about the adaptation that the adaptive side that you were talking about. And I think that's what we do as well, So,
yeah, but Netherlands is also a bit surprising, or you are talent. So most Netherlands people speaks, of course, Dutch, but they speak German and English more or less good. So to communicate in Netherlands is easy as the same. And I mean, in Germany also a lot of things is changing. More and more young people speak fluently English. YouTube helps a lot, but also the education, the school is much more better, and the people understand more and more that it's important to learn a second language as well. So, I mean, in my age, it's a bit changing. So a lot of people in my age had also French in school, So because the German French friendship was much more closer or normal, and it was a very popular country when I was young. What is still, but not so tight like when I was young. Now it's more the people. So my daughters, for example, learn now English anyhow, but Spanish as well. So because you can speak Spanish in the US, in the whole US, but also in the whole South America area and a lot of other. Okay, so Iva, how is the detailing scene? So do you have or how are the people? So what I want to know is did the people care for her by himself? So normal people who has one car. I don't mean detailers who do this professional. Is it did the people wash his car on Sunday like the German by himself, or is it something you give it to a company and pay for the service? What is is it allowed in your country to wash the car outside, or do you have to go in a wash box, or how is it? How's this situation?
You don't have to go to the wash box necessary. You can also wash it outside. We don't have such strict regulations about the car wash in front of the house. But in general, you have on the market two different streams. Let's say you have people who will go and give their car to get washed, but it will be done in a low budget manner. So we're talking about washes from 10 to tops 20 euros. And that's not a job we consider detailing in any way, of course. We're close to it. That's pre-wash.
Yeah.
That's not the wash. But you also have people who love their cars and like to take care of it. That's the segment we are mostly interested in, of course. In general, that part of the country is waking up faster than we expected a couple of years ago when we were starting out at first. And they're quite pleased to see that you have this option finally in Croatia. So people are willing here. There aren't a lot of them, but there still are some who are willing to pay 40, 50 euros for their car to get washed in a proper manner and keep it maintained. But most of them are taking care of their car by themselves. The professionals are doing most of the jobs when the car is going to sales, or you have somebody who is crazy about their car, or it's new car, expensive one, and wants to take care of it from the start. We have a situation in the market that most of our cars are older than 10 years. The government was trying to, let's say, lower that number, but it hasn't come to the right point yet. So we are driving cars from Germany, imported diesels. We are still a second-hand market for these type of vehicles. But a lot of people who are working in import are now finally trying to see that they can pull out the specific segments of the detailing and make something new, something better out of it. So we are quite pleased with the way this is happening. But a lot of education is still needed on this way. Because you can't learn a person by talking to them. If you want to learn something, give them the tools and let them work. That's the fastest way.
Show them. True. Yeah.
Yeah, show them.
Yeah, let him do it by himself. No?
Are the people that wash the car themselves, are they allowed in Croatia or in Zagreb specifically to wash the car in the street? Is that something that is allowed?
Yeah, that's normal. Well,
That's
we
not
don't
a problem.
have water shortages. We are quite rich in water as a country. So we can do most of the times a lot of things that some, let's say, larger companies, countries on different areas of Europe can. So it's not that common to see somebody snow foaming a car on the street. I remember when we did it 7 years ago, it was like, what the hell is this? The neighbors rounded up and they were like in shock. We were like, okay, it's a snow foam, you will learn. Do to me, do my car, do something. Okay, slow down.
That is still fun, you know.
But today it's quite normal. You still have people loving their cars or collecting even, and they will do it often. But it still needs some time to work on the mindset of the people to show them that it can be better.
Yeah.
They think that better is more expensive, but it's not actually always connected. So
No, better can sometimes even be cheaper. You know, so
yes,
if you
when you know
like
what
you
to
said,
use and how.
exactly, you need to know what to use, and it, like you said in the beginning, it doesn't have to do with cost specifically. When we look with the optimum products that we sell as well, sometimes we hear that the pricing that we have is way off in comparison to other products. But then if you talk to people and you show them that you use way less than like double the size of a competitor product, then it makes sense to them. But the bottle doesn't show that to them, you know,
Yeah.
so they need to have the experience. And I totally agree with you. If you say, if you educate people and you show them how to do it, it can be really fun to maintain your car, you know, so, and it will be like a very pleasing end result at the end of the job that you finished. So I think it's always fun. At least that's how I looked at it all the time, and I still look at it like that, you know. So, but education is key. I agree, because if you tell people wash your car with a sponge and they drop it on the ground and they will keep washing, you know, it's good for the
It's not a
detailing
solution.
industry, but it's not good for their car.
I think most of all, we need to make them learn and understand dilution ratios and how to calculate it. Because most of them are getting lost. They just see the price and that's like, that's high, that's expensive. What? I can't pay for this. And when you just drop it down by the ratio and you see that you will use half of the product that's cheaper on staying on the shelf, you're just looking at them like, dude, calculate the ratio, please. It will make life a lot easier.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're talking maybe a euro, or you have the euro currency as well, Croatia?
No, we still have kuna, but euro is accepted, especially
Okay, yeah.
during
So
the
it's like
summer season.
when you have a bottle which costs 30 euros or something like that, you know, so, and you say, yeah, but it will last you a year, maybe a year and a half. And you break it down per wash. If they wash the car every other week, it's like you're talking about cents. You're not talking about euros anymore, you know, so that's true.
But you need to also adapt to people, because Croatia has one of the biggest taxes in Europe. We have 25% tax, and the payment model isn't that high in Croatia. So you need to adapt. You need to work on the prices. We can't have the same prices of product, let's say, as Austria or Germany or some Western countries of Europe. We couldn't work with it. It's quite high for our costs. But still, when you drop it down to the simple, how much does 1 milliliter of the product cost, they always understand. And they will, let's say, use it a bit less, or they will try some other products, or they will even turn to your competition, then try again something new, but they still like to try, and that's excellent, because they need to do that. You can't convince people on price-based strategy. You can't convince them on my product is the best, please use it. You need to let the people choose for themselves, and that's the only way they will always come around to you. They need to try.
And if you figure that one out, you will have a successful business like you do now.
Simple, actually.
So, but it was what you were saying now. That was a huge lesson for us. Of course, with the coding, we were in a niche market, and we still are. You know, so it is like you can choose our code. There are many codings, but you can choose ours, and it's different than the rest. You know, so that's the reason why people choose it. But when we got involved with the rag company and with all the colors that they have and all the different towels, we were like, why do you need so many towels? Why do you need like 5 colors of one towel? I will tell you, and you gave the answer already, it's your customer. Your customer will determine your stock. They will, if we have like 4 colors, but we don't take the 4th, which might be red, the first question will come from a customer, why don't you have the red color? You know, so it's always the color that you don't have, they ask for. So, and then you stock, but it's true. The funny thing is that we had that with the Eagles. We had 2 Eagle, it's a plush towel, and we had 2 colors, orange and blue when we started. Now we have light gray and red. But when we started selling red, within half a year, it already outsold the orange and blue that were already on stock for a year. So yes, color and customer preferences, very important. And if you don't see that, you will never be successful, I think. If you think, I know it all and I like this, it might be, and there will be some people that like it. But if you want to reach out to the majority of the public, you need to think open.
I think you always need to do the right A to B testing. So it's just leave it up to the customer, as you said. It's quite easier way than just to make decisions by yourself.
So true.
You'll get a quite finer picture and crystal clear way of choosing your stock. Yep. But I would also say the customer isn't always right, because they think they will buy it. They think they will like it. They see it on a picture. They do like it actually, but when push comes to shove, they will sometimes choose a cheaper product. Even if they know the quality is less, they will choose it. And that's still okay. But you need to set yourself aside. You are not your company. So you need to work what's the best for your company, but not involved in it. Let it just grow in its own direction. The same as your customers, of course.
Yeah.
It's like taking care of the children, actually. I think so. I don't have them, so I presume.
Well, we have children as well. Like I say many times, how many children do you want? I have many.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have some, Patrick. No? So, one thing what we want to talk about is also your plans. What Unforgettable this year about Corona doesn't place was a show, a detailing show in Zagreb. So what is this? What is your plans? And will this happen maybe next year if coronavirus allow? Or tell us a little bit about it.
We were trying under the car show that's kept every 2 years in Zagreb, one of the biggest shows of this area. We were planning a detailers convention, let's say. This came out quite ugly because of the corona and the organization and everything. It fell straight into the water and we were quite displeased with it. But the positive aspect of that was we got a response from 10 different distributors that they were willing to attend to such event. So I think it's quite easier for people to come to Zagreb, that's on the continental part of the Europe, than sometimes travel to Wexstock that costs a lot because of the plane tickets, the cost of the hotel, the stays, and all in general. So we were trying to make first time ever, probably in this part of the Europe, a place where even the common people and professionals can meet up, talk, exchange numbers, exchange opinions. We're planning some talk panels, test products in live versions, so people can come up, test, try, see by themselves what to use, ask for opinion from a professional without even putting out their wallet. And that was the whole general idea, just to introduce detailing to Croatia and the surrounding countries on a much higher level. And the idea in general was quite positively supported from different sides, and we're most happy about it. But we're planning to keep this only in our organization for the next year, probably, if everything goes well with the Corona status.
The car show, is it proposed to next year, or they will?
It was just declined for this year. I'm not quite sure what will actually happen in the next year, since some changes in the government, the elections. I'm not sure in which way will this actually go, but I think we can even do it without the car show. Also, we did some test trials with our customers and started spreading the word, talking about it, and they were mostly positively engaged in the whole idea. They were even pulling out some cars I didn't know Croatia had in general, and they were willing to give it for the show, just for the people to come to see their cars, for them to be engaged in it. So it had a different layers of happening in it, and I was totally ecstatic with the idea and working on it. But then Corona came and off we go. But I'm hoping that this will come to life in some.
Did you have an idea, an estimate of if it would have happened, if the show would have been proceeded? Do you have an estimate on the people who would visit the show, the amount of people?
The amount of people in general that will participate in it will be somewhere around tops 15 different distributors, because we didn't want to pull everybody in it, just to keep it more simpler for the final customer. But in general, number of people working on it will be somewhere around 10 main ones, and the visitors, I can only tell you that the sky is the limit, because it would be the first time anybody did something like it. So it's hard for us to put a number on it. We can only rely on the numbers of the car show that had in the past years, but that was the number was declining during the years, since even the car industry was starting to shut down before the Corona. And some of the even European fairs were postponed. So we were on quite shaky ground on any estimation of everything, but we were willing to put the effort and to take the cost for it. So I can only tell you the numbers that I'm planning in my head are quite big. See, will it live up?
I won't ask you for the number, so because it might bring bad luck as well, So.
No, that's even hard when the show is the first time. It's very difficult to.
The reason I'm asking Lars was about because the show in France.
Detailing show Toulouse.
Yeah, he had a prediction, but it went way better than he expected. So, and I wish the same for you guys. So when you do the show and the number that is in your head right now, I hope you maybe double it even, so if that's possible. I don't know how high it is,
That
and
would
we
be
don't say
great.
anything, but yeah.
No, I'm sure
How
that
many people was in Toulouse?
I think they were nearly like, they expected, no, they were like almost 2,000.
I don't know the number, but it was really packed. So it was really full
Nice.
from the beginning. So the doors are open, and from the beginning it was full until the end. So it was really a full busy day.
Unexpected.
It was feeling like Waxstock.
Yes.
So the same
Beautiful.
feeling. So in Waxstock, I think has something about 3.5 till 4,000 people, something like this. So I don't know. The hall is more or less the same size. No? It was also the same.
No, I think Waxstock is a bit larger, a bit bigger. But for a first-time show, Waxstock is now 6th, or should have been
8,
the 7th.
7 or 8
or
years.
7th
Yeah.
year. Nice.
7th, right? Yeah. So, and this was the first time, so we didn't know what to expect. The organization didn't know what to expect. They had a hope. But if you do better than that, that is like dessert, so that's really good. And we were surprised, so the majority of the people, and especially the interest, the people were really interested, so, and it was detailing moment. Yeah. Pretty awesome.
We will part of it. We want to be a part of it again when you do it next year, and
that would be awesome.
maybe Rag Company.
Maybe.
Also there.
We have to do some.
Let's talk.
We have to do some talking when it's not being
recorded. Good luck for this. Which month do you think, or which month is the idea to do? You don't have a date now, I guess, no?
No, we don't have the date now, but we were planning for April or May, because that is the start of the season, and at that time we have a more stability in the weather, and it's a lot easier to do the organization during the winter time when it's quite slower with the job.
Yeah.
So we'll have enough time to prepare, but we're still calculating and trying to take a look at what will happen with the whole situation in the world. So we can't say anything.
Of course.
But it's still
planning. You still are willing to do this, and
yes,
we are looking
course.
forward.
We will not give up on it.
Yeah, we will looking forward, and I know you a bit, so I know it will be a good show. So I'm sure.
Thanks.
So, Iva, what is about boat detailing? Is it something what is in your country popular? Because you have the water, you have the ports, you have I know you have a lot of boats, more than Germany for sure. I don't know, Netherlands maybe not, but is it something what is also coming, or is it still not interesting? Is it something?
It's growing.
It's growing.
It's growing in large numbers, but we are still connected to the old ways of thinking, where you can use one paste and polish year after year after year just to take the money. But a lot of people are learning that the gel is not the same thing as polishing the car. So a lot of professionals are trying to get a handle, a grip on it. And I think that's a good way of, let's say, maybe even to turning to some point of detailing tourism in Croatia, because our prices are a bit lower than in the rest of the Europe for detailing services. And I think that from what I've seen in other countries, we do it on a bit higher level because we are smaller and we like to fight for a place in the world. So currently the boats, the harbors in Croatia are being held by, let's say, same teams of people who are handling them. But it's not impossible to get in as long as you can prove you are doing a good job. But as said before, the education is the key to it all, because a lot of people who are the owners don't know what they can get. general. So there they need to talk, they need to learn, and they're just turning to this side of the industry. But I can agree that our position is excellent for that question, because we can also have the cars and the boats, and also even some hotels for, let's say, nano protection, stuff like that, buildings. So that's why I said detailing is a quite wide range, and it depends in which way will you turn. But if you like anything you start, you can learn quite easily. So it's interesting.
Okay, yeah, so that is something what I saw, and what I saw also about in the vinyl and leather repair area, that more and more is going on in Croatia about boats. No, that is really something. I have more questions this year for 100% for sure than last year for people who drive down to your country and do the job there. So German people, or from Netherlands, or also from Norway, or from Hungary, they drive down to do jobs there because few people have boats in your country. They live, for example, in Poland, or they live in Germany, and they do detail. They have also luxury cars. They have a detailer here, or somebody who cares for the leather interior, and they ask, can you drive down or fly down to Croatia and do my boats there? So that is how I get contact to this. So they call me and say, oh, what do you think about this boat and this boat? And so then they drive down, do the job there, and come up. So and sometimes they don't have enough black with them, and then they have to come to you and buy some black.
And I have to deliver it on Saturday.
Yeah. So this,
but it's okay. We took care of it.
Yeah, I know. I know. That is something what I really appreciated at your business, and how you do it. That you are open for competition, and that you take it how to take it, and you go friendly and open with all this situation around. So that is really somebody what can. Few people can learn something from you, Iva. That is for Iva for sure. About
Thank
this.
you.
It's very awesome. Okay, so finally, short coronavirus. How worst was it, or what was the effect on your business? Do you had a lockdown in your country? How was this corona situation?
We did have a lockdown, but it wasn't that long, actually. I can't say that it did any damage to us, since we had web shop. The sales, online sales, took over. We were locked for 3 weeks in total, and it didn't cost us that much. The detailing is still a quite luxury in Croatia. So people who have for it just deal with it. They will always have, to be honest. And on the second side, people were locked home. So that was good for us. They were in their garages working, trying out products, testing them, calling us, asking for questions, we were taking out a lot of deliveries during those days. So we didn't took such a hit. We did miss, of course, a part of financial part from the retail store, but it was still manageable. I can't say that we experienced it that way. I mean, we haven't stopped working since January in general. So it was a good business to be in during those times, to be honest. The most of the hit, I think, took the professional detailers, because everything that wasn't done and what was supposed to be done during the corona lockdown is from May up till now being worked on. So they're having a lot of shortage of time these days. They are working crazy. Everybody's saying they're having more job than ever. What's crazy for summer, because people are going on a lot of vacations, especially in our country. They're going to seaside, and nobody does anything actually until the fall comes. But I think we passed with the least scratch from it all, to be honest. So it was a experience just to get a grip of what could happen during the upcoming months. And I'm hoping that we will still somehow pull through it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, nice to hear.
we
Nice to hear. I mean, the same for Patrick and me. So we had this luck that our business goes through. Of course, it came to some change, more online order, no training. For me, no traveling. So I can't remember that I never been so long in a plane like this. I don't remember this. But okay, that is...
Is that why you can stand still in the chair? I'm not traveling, I need to go.
Yeah, but he's like the traveling guy, you know. So I travel a bit, but Lars travels a lot, you know. So that is like every time when we speak to each other, and I see on Facebook where he is at that time or just returned, then we have a conversation on the phone, and he's in Germany, and then the day after he's in China or wherever, you know. So the guy's all over the world. It's crazy.
He's a globetrotter.
No, but not at the moment, and I enjoy my family quality time. So that's has also a good thing, and the business
good that still works.
Yeah, and it doesn't. Yeah, it still works, and it doesn't have so big effect. But I'm lucky, or we are lucky to hear that that it comes out good for you, and we hope it still will go nicely. How is the situation now? Do you have to wear a mask when you go outside to shopping or not? Can you? What is about? Can you go to eat something? Is the restaurants are open? And what is about the tourismus? Is the people coming and do holiday? Or how is the situation right now?
It's in general for tourism, it's bad, quite bad. We'll see when fall starts, the final results, the numbers and the calculations. But I think that currently we don't have such many people coming through as we were expecting before all of this started. Unfortunately, as I said, we are tourist-based country, so a lot of things will be missed because of this season. But in general, you can go out freely, of course. We need to work even in our store with masks on. In some public transport also you have to use them, but you can sit down, you can have a meal, you can drink. I think we aren't so afraid as a country in general of it, but we experience some negative inputs from the outside and the reaction of other countries that banned people from traveling to us. So that was quite a hit. Some of them we didn't expect, some of them we did. But a lot of people, as you said, especially the owners of houses here in Croatia, they were planning on vacation, they didn't come. The boats were supposed to be done, they didn't come. So every aspect of life is being influenced, of course, with the current situation. But I'm still hoping that the irretrievable pessimism will be lost somewhere in the distance. We are still trying to take the best out of it. So
yeah, but the problem was
we are still quite easy for the corona.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm only saying for the people I'm surrounded with. We are not in any type of fear or pressure from it.
Yeah, okay.
No, but the problem was when the holiday season started, everybody was more or less allowed to move, to travel to other countries. But I think Croatia was one of the first countries, especially for us Dutch people, that was like, you can go, but if something happens, we won't retrieve you. You know, so you're on your own. Where a lot of people were like, am I willing to do that with my family? You know, so that's the problem. I think the politicians, they scare the shit out of you, or at least that's what they try. You know, so I have been traveling the last couple of weeks. I've been to Hungary and I've been to Spain. Funny thing is, if you're in an airplane, you have to wear a mask, right? but then they start serving drinks or food, and everybody takes their mask off. So there are 300 people in a plane with their masks over here, and they're all eating and drinking, you know. So, and then I'm like, and even in the airports, I was quite surprised, especially when I got to Hungary, because I had some Romanian people coming over to Hungary as well. They had to do 2 corona tests before they were allowed to enter Hungary. We could fly in. There was no check. There was nothing whatsoever. So I was kind of surprised, you know. So, and the same thing with in Spain, you had to wear a mask in the street, but then we had the hotel, and on the other side of the street, there was the terrace. So we wear a mask onto we were on the terrace, and you could put it in your pocket, you know? So
yeah, it made no sense.
It doesn't make any sense to me. But if you ask me, and I'm not saying Corona doesn't exist, that's the last thing I want to say or mention. But what I think, if you guys have been doing this, we have been doing this. If you go into a restaurant, nobody's wearing a mask. So if you go to a supermarket here, nobody is wearing a mask. But that's where the majority of the people go to. So I think, but I'm not a medical experienced guy, the spreading should be enormous, especially in countries like Spain or Hungary, where I've been. You know, so if people mingle so much, there should be like an explosion of, how do you say that? Infections. But you don't hear that. Good luck. You know, I'm very lucky that that's not happening.
Of course, it is a lucky situation. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more, because if it weren't for the, let's say, rules part, I'm not a supporter of wearing one-time masks all day for 7 to 8 hours. I mean, I need to be able to breathe in fresh air, for God's sake, I'm a human being. But at the end of the day, I think that the whole absurd amount of fear that was set, the lockdown, everything that's being projected to people will only bring out more bad things than to prevent bad things from happening.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Let people go outside, people mingle, do things. Of course, take care of yourself, take care of the people who are weaker. But in general, if you're a person of, let's say, 30 years of age, in a good physical condition, with no prior diseases, what are we talking about? I can't understand it, but it's okay. We just work by the rules, and as much as we can, we do our way. So
yeah, finally, we all have to learn to handle this virus, and that will take a few months. So I think when we talk next year, at the same time, we build up our knowledge more, and we have a better idea, and then we know how many cents or not cents it was going on.
We'll count each other.
It's a moment we just can try a lot of things. Now that is
we have to do our best. Yeah, that's where I agree on.
Yes.
On the other hand, if we talk same time next year, I hope we talk about a successful trade show in Croatia, you know. So I don't want to talk about the Corona anymore, you know. So I'm fed up with the Corona, and I mean this in the
maybe we can sit on one table, not to be in Croatia, German, and in Netherlands. What is nice and fine that we have this technical, because we three are all busy, and was anyhow hard enough to get this date, no? So happy to have this, and it's even harder when we have all to travel, but maybe it's nice to sit also together on one table. So we will do this next year, to sit on one table and talk about the detailing scene, and talk about the first event, the first detailing convention, Zagreb. No, that is also what we can speak when we.
Yes, that would be the most interesting thing to see finally.
So, Iva, you are a woman. How is the situation for a woman in a mostly man control business?
Actually, great. I can't say that I had any experience of negative thoughts, talks, or position. I think that in general, it's nice to be a woman in this industry, because you're most of the time you're being greeted by gentleness. They're always trying to help you, to adjust to you, to give you even more knowledge, because they are also, as much as I'm fascinated with the professionals and try to learn the most out of them, they're fascinated with the women in the industry. So I think it's nice for them for sometimes just to talk to somebody who isn't a man. So I know my experience in general was great 7 years of working with them. And especially in Croatia, where the small market brings out the best of them. So you have 10 people that I can count right now, from which I learned the most. And 99% of my whole knowledge and some kind of experience comes from them, actually. And that's a great experience. I don't know what to say. I can't say anything bad, actually.
No, I think.
No, but this is really nice. That's really nice to hear. I don't know if you get notice from this, but we have sometimes this discussion or talking about it in Germany, that we need more women in jobs who do mainly men's. We need more women in bigger companies in leader position. We need more women in the politic area, and so this is something what is always talking also in Germany. And what I learned in the last few years is you just have to do it. So, and then especially in a niche like detailing, the people have open arms and welcome everybody. So that's really nice to hear. That is how I expected it is, So
No, but what you say right now, Lars, what you say right now is so true. I think the detailing community is a very open community.
Yeah.
So, and especially for women, that's the experience I have. I don't, and the women that you talk to, they are all very positive, like Iva is right now. So I really applaud to that. That's awesome. And I don't think you should be a woman to be in a leading position. I think the best person should be in that position, but you have to be treated equally. So if you say, okay, this company should have been run by a female, that could have been the worst scenario, and it could have been the best. Yeah. You need to be capable of doing what you do, so it's crazy. But I think it is it's very positive. And I like that you say that you don't have any bad experience, only positive experience. So that's also for a lot of women that think about detailing now or entering the industry. You're all welcome.
Yeah, that's the point, Patrick, why I asked this. So
yeah, no, it's a very good question.
I know there's sorry, also when we do training, we still have this call from a woman. I'm an upholsterer. I'm interested in leather repair, especially in cars. I'm fascinated from super sport cars or something like this. Can I do a training? I say, of course you can do a training. Yeah, but I'm a woman. I say, that's not interesting for me. That's not interesting for me. For me, it's interesting.
You can only ask one. Are you a handsome or ugly woman? Then you can determine what to do.
Yeah, but we still have this, we still have this. And that's what I mean. So go for it. So everybody who wants to do this, just do it, whatever you are.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it only depends on you as a person. It doesn't matter what gender you are. I'm not that type of woman that will say women need to have it all. We are, I know, being pushed aside or anything like that. It's not true. As much as you try, as much as you do, you will get to some point where you can evolve. So I agree with you. It doesn't matter, man or woman, it has to be capable to do the job. And sometimes, frankly, I'm even finding it a lot easier to communicate with men because they're more rational. They know which way they want to go. So they don't change often. It's easier to work with them. Women are more ecstatic. We are going like parabola, jumping. So you need to have a balance in anything. And the knowledge, that's it. Just do it. If you want to do it, go out and just do it. But don't talk that you can't if you haven't even tried, no matter the gender. So.
Yeah, perfect perfect final word. So we are also nearly an hour or a bit more than. Also, that is what we try to do around about an hour, because we expect that is a good time the people want to listen to this. So Iva, thank you so much to be part on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Interesting. I'm a bit surprised how big and how fast growing the detailing industry is in Croatia, or especially in your area. Thank you to give us a view into it. And Patrick, thank you again to be with me here helping out. And
my pleasure.
Next word to Patrick, and Iva will get the final words.
It was nice to meet you, Patrick. Finally.
yeah. Although I'd rather meet people in person like you do, you know. So like we discussed before this, I think humans are social human beings. You know, we are social, and I think we need to socialize. You know, so. Yes. But yes, thank you for being on the show. I think it is very inspirational. The way you grew your business, still growing the business. The plans that you are making for the future, you don't get beat down by Corona or anything else. You keep on going. And I think that's really awesome. So even for me, it was inspirational to meet you, to listen to you. Very interesting. And I hope that's the same for the audience, and maybe female detailers or future female detailers in specific. So thank you for being on the show. Thank you for taking the time. And we hope to have a show live on a table like Lars was talking about in Croatia, maybe after the detailing show. That would be awesome. But then the three of us together on a table, that would be awesome. That would be a good future.
Yeah. In most of the cases, the talk goes a lot better with a full stomach and a glass of wine. So let's on that.
You just completed the picture.
That's it. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for an opportunity to say our side from Croatia, our view of the industry and detailing world in general. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So I will stop recording. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.